It's a busy food processing day today. We have barbecued rabbit, bluebarb syrup, and we're going to talk about building a counterculture. Hello and welcome to Misfit Grit. I'm Kat. This is formerly a fireside chat with Kat. So let's go check out this barbecued rabbit. On busy days when I'm in the kitchen canning, processing food, the first thing I do in the morning after chores are done is I get supper going. And this is a barbecued rabbit. There's two of them in there with some potatoes. And this was given to us by a client from my husband's mechanic shop. And she raises rabbits, and we usually get a few each year as a barter. And I made a Asian barbecue sauce last year, and I used that for this year. I'm always trying to work ahead for my food. So when I have enough sauces and convenience things like that already put on the shelf to make busy processing days quicker, that's what I like, and it's working out well for me. So we're doing an Asian ginger garlic barbecue sauce with the potatoes, and then I will make a coleslaw later with the first apples coming in. The kids were picking apples, just these little ones coming in. And I'll make that with some cabbage and kohlrabi here when I'm done canning. So that's what we're having for supper. You always got to get your food going in the morning when you have a busy day ahead, because you do not want to be making supper and kids are fussing and an animal gets sick or something goes wrong and you've been canning all day and you don't have anything ready to feed people. Rule number 1. Now I'll show you the bluebarb syrup. So that's blueberries and rhubarb. And there's also a little bit of honeyberry in there. So the recipe comes from this book. This old, Farm Journals Canning and Freezing Cookbook. And I use a lot of recipes out of this. This is old style and it's good. And so I make a jam, the same thing, bluebarb jam, but I just omit the pectin and turn it into a syrup, and then we can eat it on pancakes and all that kind of stuff. And it's really good. So I did 12 cups of rhubarb that I had frozen in the spring, and then 12 cups of berries. Like I said, I had some honey berries to throw in there also. They're close enough to blueberries, right? It'll work. And then also, I think it was 24 cups sugar. So we don't eat a lot of sweets here, and sugar comes to us in the form of fruit preserves usually. So that's going to be all right. So that's what we're going to get going today. And while I get the syrup put up into the jars, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing with this channel, where I've been, why it's a little different, and building counterculture, which is what I'm ultimately exploring and trying to do. So let me get my syrup right over here so I can start ladling it into my hot mason jars. This is water bath canning. It will can for 10 minutes. This is really super duper easy if you've never done this. Canning up fruit preserves is a great way to begin food preservation. Oh, that's pretty big. Okay. So this channel has changed because I needed a little bit of something different. I had some unpleasant experiences regarding this channel, and I made some unhelpful alliances in trying to learn how to edit and grow this channel, and they did not serve myself or my family well. And I needed to take a step back, reevaluate, think about what I'm doing. I'm playing around with trying to learn to edit videos. It's been a little tougher than I thought. It's also an extremely busy time of year for me, and sitting around in a computer for someone who hasn't sat at a computer in like a decade and a half, that's tough to do in summer. And, we're working on it. And so a couple of people made some comments on a post that I made a week ago where I was like, hey, I'm still here, still thinking about this. They're like, Kat, just film while you do stuff and talk. All right, so here we go. All right. So I had to take a step back. I'm also taking a Matriarchal leadership course, and it is wonderful. It's giving me a lot of things to think about, and I'm doing a lot of introspective work right now, doing a lot of healing work, and just wanting to do better for myself and others and figure out what my focus should be. I came up with the name Misfit Grit because I've always been a misfit. I've never fit into mainstream culture. And in order to do that, you have to be really gritty because the mainstream is always going to try to pull you back in. It's always easier to go with the mainstream. It might not feel good. It might not do well for everyone, but it's always easier to do it because that's what most people are doing. That just doesn't sit right with me. It never has, and it never will. So Misfit Grit's where I'm at. I am exploring if this can be, what type of offering I can make to help others, to help my family. What can we all learn together? How can I share my skills? So I'm going to go slow and steady at this and see what's going on. And I really appreciate all of you sticking around and being interested in what I'm doing, my family's doing, and being patient and encouraging. It means a lot. It really, really does. And it keeps me going when things get tough as far as this technological stuff goes. And that's the kind of counterculture that I'm interested in. The one that encourages people, not the one that tries to control or dominate or tell others what to do. And I, for one, am kind of sick about yelling. I'm sick with yelling about politics. I don't think it serves me anymore, or at least now, and I don't want to do it. So, the far right, if we're going to talk about counterculture, the far right has done this extraordinarily well, and they're having a glorious moment right now. The far right began building what we now see as this counterculture, this Christian fascism, white nationalistic culture that is now becoming mainstream. They started this in the 1960s, let's say, really kicked off with it like 40 years ago of homeschooling, but it was a response to schools integrating desegregation and, you know, the end of Jim Crow. It was a way for white dudes to be like, no, man, this is still mine. I want this. This is my world. I get to dominate. And that's what we're seeing right now. You know, we have it in the White House. We have it all around us. I live in an area where it's dominant. There's a lot of that culture going on. You know, that's the religion. It's very gender rolled, all that stuff. And the trad wife thing too, you know, the manosphere, all this stuff. The far right did an excellent job at playing the long con. They were like, it's going to take us generations to get where we want to be, to get control and domination. And it did, and it worked. And we live in their country now. I don't like it, but in some ways I have to applaud them. Like, excellent strategy. It worked. I'm a prepper, and I think long term, and so I get it. I really do. Doesn't mean I approve of their values, but I understand what they did. So this means that us on the left, we have work to do, and we have to do so much better, right? Like the Joe Bidens and the Hillary Clintons, that is not going to fix this situation. We need radical change. We need radical counterculture change to build something that can hold the pull from the far right. And that's not what I see happening right now. What I see happening in the left, whether it be a more moderate left or even a very far left, is ego. It's domination and it's control. It's not making room for an entirety of people and their experiences. It's like a few at the top, privileged, wealthy, and who are like, no, this is mine. Does that sound familiar? Like what the far right did after desegregation? Absolutely, because that's what's happening. It's this push and pull of power, and it doesn't serve us. And that is what we call patriarchal leadership. Domination and control. Ego. What we should have instead, I, myself, and many others argue, is matriarchal leadership. Now, that doesn't mean that men don't get a seat at the table, because of course they do. That's nonsense. Matriarchal leadership provides space for the whole, for everyone, male, female, everyone in between, and it holds that space like a woman holds her child. A woman doesn't dominate her child if she's doing it properly. She's holding them and allowing them to be who they are naturally and encouraging it and loving them. Very different than patriarchal leadership, which is grounded in control and domination. And that's what I'm seeing. That's the culture on the left, and it is not interesting to me at all. So if the left is to have any hope of cementing themselves in the culture in a healthy way and to peeling back the stranglehold that now the far right has, then we have to build something that actually is changing the culture, and in a good way. We need to push back on these power systems and say, what if we structured this different? Now, this is a huge undertaking, and this is why it's a counterculture, because clearly it will take generations of dedicated people and families living differently, rejecting systems on a huge level to say, I don't want this anymore. And what I see a lot of is there's a lot of yelling and complaining, but not a lot of will to take a look at how people in power on the left are participating in and propping up these toxic systems. I want to see families and individuals and communities who build healthy people, which then would be a healthy planet, to rebuild after the destruction of the patriarchal leadership, giving men an opportunity to heal and be whole and be the full-bodied human beings that they're supposed to be, not just an enraged testosterone dominating force. Something a little bit deeper and more meaningful, and that's how we would have a better society. The left has to have a really strong counterculture. So that's what I'm doing here at Misfit Grit, and wondering how I can help shape that. My family is very successful at resisting toxic systems, and we're raising our children this way. And I'm hopeful that there's more of you out there. Well, there we go. There is the first round of the syrup. Can you see that? Let's see. Still some more to go. I have a few more rounds. I was hoping to do some rhubarb butter today also. Maybe, we'll see. All right, well, I'm gonna get the rings on the jars, the lids and the rings on the jars, and then get them into the canner, get that going for about 10 minutes, and then we'll have syrup all winter. So thanks for watching this. Thanks for the support. Thanks for encouraging me. I know I can't edit videos very well right now. And if you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and share. It really does help. I'm trying to not be quite so overt because I think that my content was suppressed before. And a lot of people are saying that they're not seeing anything that I've put out there recently. And I think that's because I struck a chord somewhere either with a human or with an algorithm. I don't know. But we're going to try to do things a little bit more under the radar here and see where we can go with it. So as always, folks, take care, and I'll see you next time.